Sometimes I get high off words. Letters and syllables roll around my head. I breathe in deep, I exhale with a puff of steam that freezes ice cold or melts into a late night whisper to a secret lover far, far away. Sometimes I get high off words. Self-control out the window, I trace my fingers along the lines and wait until I feel the edge and kerosene prick of each word flooding my blood. Sometimes I get high off words. A rainbow haze shrouds me, tangible like watercolors and pastels and acrylics. They paint me until my skin appears a living mosaic. Sometimes I get high off words. Down soft snowflakes dance. They tiptoe across my eyelashes and curl up against the curve of my mouth, nestling on the very tip of my tongue. I blow a kiss with them. Perhaps tomorrow I'll mumble a prayer for my sins. Thank you.
I didn't know you could smell sadness. Every time my mom buys that air freshener, I remember. When it hits my nose, I get nauseous. When I see your face, I want to vomit. The butterflies you gave me turned to wasp in a mosh pit. I didn't know love could make you sick. They said the only things that hurt were stones and sticks. I hear you in every song, verse, and song. I hear you in every lip, tongue, and palm. I still see you in my dreams. Why you do this? I'm not lucid, no, you knew this. I used to be soft, now I act like you did and still get bitches. I know you're a shark, but I still be trying to be swimming with the fishes. Wow, I can't write. Easily the opposite of St. Aloysius, but for some reason I'm still wishing and praying for your salvation, because even when the wasps tear me up, it's the only thing that keeps my heart flaring up. It's something like magic to end a tale so tragic, so even after rereading our story, it's the only thing I can do because all these other girls just wanted it.
Willows waltz while wind weaves her way through the winding wooden branches. The gossamer dress sneaks behind the tree, its scalloped kaleidoscopic trim and golden ringlets peeking out above the fairy's bed. The moss and small mushrooms giggle with the wildflowers. Her mind wanders. Freedom on a Sunday. She dreams of the past, daffodils and ruins torn asunder in ancient mystic lands. Their stained glass windows still reflect desire and devotion against the hickory. Fierce December suns which smell of cinnamon and festivals under crescent moonlight. Amulets which dazzle the spirits of long ago. Renegade discovery ships filled with cavaliers and conquistadors sailing around Pangaea, surrounded by portentous creatures, gleaming in the shimmering turquoise which stretches forever. She dreams of youth, saccharine and jolly, lollipops and carnivals and cotton candy, charming glistens and the tintinnabulation of distant jubilees. Even from a distance, she can spot the perfect carousel. Yearning for unchanging Mays and the wonder of endless summers, the magic of fairy dust and never forgetting. Le mouton et la fleur. Quick, draw her now before she fades forever. She dreams of the earth, petrichor splendor, frolicking and whirling through valleys and hollows, echoes in the breeze. The view from lonely mountaintops as soft white clouds embraced her. How she missed her long-lost friends. Living in delirium, delphiniums in her hair, the elixir of life found in the infinity of wildflowers, whose fields seem to stretch forever. She dreams of the universe and the warm glow of dusk. The cosmos extends its hands to her, for by light she is a daydreamer, but by night she dances with moonbeams and sings with shooting stars. Her daydreams become realities in the glow of the silver moon, who weeps every morning as she sneaks away, just before dawn. He wishes she could stay forever. She dreams of the meaning of life, of dying in glory like the legends of ivory towers and the night, rescues and refuge. The wounds of the past replaced with the wisdom of the paradise, never fading, never lost in the wicked Siberian tundra of people's minds. Remembrance and exultation living in the minds of those she met in Verona, eternal forever. She dreams of the sublime world of unknowns, a wild soul rising above the wretched world. Wild. How wild it must be to truly live, to truly be forever. Joanna, she hears, escaping from the willow. The conquistador and the carousel and the cloud and the cosmos watch her go. She is gone, yet Joanna remains. As Joanna leaves behind the mushrooms and the wildflowers, whose giggles turn to tears, she realizes that everything will remain exactly the same forever.
Her words are hooked at the cuff. His beatings are writer's block. She tries, but lines make no flight from a wailing mouth. Returning to him, yes, it is easier. Fresh paper doesn't slew any weight. Her voice bounces in my heart, bone, and head. I break the lead when she cries. So give me what King got, a cocktail of drugs and highs, and let me pretend that writing can carry me through this. These words are betrayal. They circle me, taunting, screaming, pleading. Because I know it. I am not brave enough.
There sits Cupid, wings wrapped around the back of a wooden chair, keeping watch. He shot him so many times as a joke, sent him running after girls he didn't shoot to torture this man. Dust coats Cupid's bow as he strokes his Santa-like beard. Trapped in a steel cage, what's left of a man? An arm reaches out to Cupid, wearing scars and fresh cuts over leather skin. Cupid leans toward the man, dangling his keys across the horse's calloused hand. Like a mouse trap, his fingers snatch the keys away. The hollowness that comes from getting something you've always wanted fills him. He died here if he didn't leave. It was cold here, cold and dark, but in the cold dark, his dream of leaving had warmed him. The lock in one hand, Cupid's key in the other, he stepped out of the cell and snapped Cupid's bow over his left knee and struck poor Cupid with his own arrow. A splintered bow and bleeding Cupid, his opinion on fairy tales and love. The history of scars on his arms and legs, maybe, just maybe, they just might heal. Thanks.
Winter stay, winter go. Winter wrap me in your blanket of snow. Comforting at first, before the shock of cold. Winter, in all its comforts and jollity, reminds me of you. I remember your eyes were blue. A blue so rich and deep, and shining with such a brilliance that the night sky itself would have been jealous. I saw those captivating eyes while I was walking in the woods one day, the sun reflecting off your golden chestnut hair, an ethereal sheen no artist could ever hope to replicate. Your hands entangled in a lock of hair belonging to a girl who wasn't me. Shades of rosy red flushed her cheeks as you kissed her. I could see your treacherous breaths as they crept into her ear. Whisper to her, tell her you love her, as you once did to me. And in that moment, the love that I was so desperately clinging onto shattered. And as it shattered, so did any attempt for it to be salvaged. Every last bit of air in my pit of a stomach crawled its way out of my throat, piercing my windpipe with sharp tendrils, causing me to cry out in pain. You didn't hear me, though. You never really did. The warm, gentle hands I remembered used to caress me with suddenly felt icy and cold, distant, faltering, uncertain, like our love. And so my love for you was buried underneath the snow-covered ground, the fire and the passion it burned for you achingly, desperately trying to melt away the snow. But it grew cold under there. It shivered, trying to remain warm. The attempts became futile, and so my love for you stayed there, no longer shivering, still, no longer warm, frigid, no longer full, empty. So I walked on, along the path I came from, wondering when spring would come. Winter stay, winter go, winter stay, winter go. Thank you.
In the heart of the desolate winter, the light dims as the sun sinks in the early afternoon. The glow dwindles with the ever-fleeting hope of tomorrow, gone in the fading day. I stand looking out into the endless blue ahead, thinking of what was, of what will be. The time was once when we were all together. Feels like just seconds ago. That moment has faded away like the smooth floor beneath us lost the warmth that came with you each day. Standing here, staring out into the abyss, those times are mere memories. Empty, distant, so far from what life used to be. As I turn and begin my ascent back up the hill, I still think, and always will, of what remained for me, for them. I reach the top only to turn and stare back. That time, that day, that moment, when we will all be together again, is as elusive as reaching out for the glimmering moon in the coming night. The day may never come again, we may never be the same again. But what is more powerful than despair? The memory. The memory of the sun shining through the untold, boundless day, and even more, the belief that this isn't the end. The light dims as the sun sinks in the early afternoon in the heart of the desolate winter. No longer is it empty, but full of hope of that elusive day. Thank you.
Miss Bowers? Holy cow, 4th grade was 60 years ago. Surprised we still remember back that far. Mrs. Vera, Mrs. Culp, then junior high and high school, Penridge Rams. So much we shared while we were growing up, good times and bad. But every generation comes of age and then grows old, looks back and wonders how it all went by so quickly and so long ago. Susie died before she started college. Kenny died in Vietnam. That brilliant girl who played the flute became an alcoholic. Gareth died of AIDS. But that's the way it goes. I'd rather think about one summer night we spent together after I came back from war and you from school. Old friends already, even then, though youngsters still. Come morning, went our separate ways. Yet here we are again, just you and me. What lunchtime crowd? They don't exist. That night was a moment's refuge from the raging hell that stormed inside of me for years. The war was undescribable. Being home was worse. You were playing a harp. You had wings that night, and a halo. You still do.
They say, learn from your mistakes, embrace your past, but its presence dark upon me cast. That which seems so meek and mild, but seldom ever reconciled. I seek to fill what I have lost, but recompense comes at a cost. You see, my past, it haunts me so. I cloak myself in its shadow. Whether not or unintentional, the voices are polemical. Incriminating self-desire, against myself I do conspire. Yesterday I won't endure, tomorrow knocking on the door. A tragic past, an unknown fate, under its might I suffocate. Please tell me how to feel inside, in anything I do confide. It is so much easier said than done, to embrace that from which I run.
Here, she said, put this on your head. She handed me a hat. You're about as white as your dad, and you're gonna stay like that. Aunt Sugar rolled her nylons down around each bony ankle, and I rolled down my white knee socks, letting my thin legs dangle, circling them just above the water, and silverback cement flitting here, then there between the sunspots and the shadows. This is how you hold the pole, to cast the line out straight. Now put a worm on that hook, throw it out, and wait. She sat and spit tobacco juice into a coffee cup, hunkered down when she felt the bite, reeling and tugging hard at the fish that struggled and tried to fight back. It's a flounder, she said, and you can tell, because one of its sides is white. The other is black. It landed with a thump. I stood there, watching that fish flip, flop, switching sides with every turn.
A is aerodynamic. B rides a bicycle. C is claustrophobic. D is dairy-free. E is everything. F is fuming. G is gargantuan. H is hardworking. I is innocence. J is just married. K went kiting. L is lolling his head. M is meandering. N is not leaving. O likes orangutans. P will persevere. Q is quaint. R is rambunctious. S is sophisticated. T is throwing a tantrum. U plays the ukulele. V got a vanity plate. W waits patiently. X exists. Y looks yummy. Z is zany.
I'm certain that I can do better. I'm certain that there's something in the way you act upon which I can improve. I'm certain. Maybe it's because you're tired. Maybe it's a lot of responsibility to control a lot of people. Maybe. But this house is not an operating room. These people are not trained professionals. Mistakes can be made. No. No mistakes, nothing late. Do it immediately. You're not in the middle of something you want to do, not anymore. There's good days and there's bad days. There's always something to be angry about. Your words tear me to pieces. It's hard for me to understand how oblivious you are to what you say and do. I'm certain that I won't turn out like you. I'm certain that there is a way for me to avoid this fate that I've been dealt. I'm certain. Maybe I'll need to work at it. Maybe I'll need constant reminders you sound just like your father. Maybe. But to me, this isn't much of a bad thing anymore. The reasons behind it are all clear now. It's easy to get along now. A mutual understanding built on the basic principle of father and son working their way through this world together.
It's hot as fuck today. I was pushing off schoolwork for real work because, hey, I'm enjoying my summer. Calm apps, making it late night, forcing myself to write. Looking back on the years, phone chants, pretend to feel feelings, got the tears. It's been a long time because it has been. And I'm so worried about being a has-been and not making room for anyone. It's been August. I hadn't seen you since graduation. Before that was, I don't even know. I mean, the end of June is just a quick salutation, and on comes prom night. What did you know? The name of the girl I was trying to bite? Do you even know I liked her? Or how it fell through because the safe arm candy after a beat doesn't feel quite standing. Okay, I'll stop lying. She dumped me, but I didn't even take a picture. I mean, I wouldn't let you near me, still half hoping you'd stay clear of me, but listen. Shit, the next song. I always forget what that sound is. Hey. That's right. I'm up. That's bound to come out. And is this just more than a prolonged childish bout? Am I really about to go into another childish... Am I rapping? This rhyming and feeling stuff. Starts slapping me in the face. Like a mom I hadn't seen 10 times yet this year. And sure, I can shed a tear, but rather talk to my girlfriend that you haven't met yet. The road makes you sweat. Or maybe get a little bit glossy after cold Bombay. So come by. But did I take the girl from Bangalore? Met her in Boston, really just kiss, and bummed out your age right enough to rhyme that with bang galore. My phone skipped to acid rap. Now I'm on chain smoker. I won't call myself that. Oh, sorry, I didn't inhale. Trying to think about what I can say that pale in comparison. Training for a marathon. But my walls are pretty high. The therapist wants me to crumble like that one, but I'd rather just move along. While the rest of the world is asleep, I'm still up trying to make it. I'm still up, I'm making a peep. I miss you, Mom. Not sure if I'm going home. He's the Salmon's happy.
Worn paper, from fantasy and dreams found in cliches. I'm from a lone cone flower, clutching insects within its hand, letting go as the color dies. I'm from a blazing fire, letting the room from a smoky candle dwindling in radiance over time. I'm from my grandma's cooking. From the delicious sinigang, sour and hot, reminding me of home. I'm from a lineage of doctors, from the family called Yuko. I'm from the soothing, energizing music, escaping from reality. The feeling like performing on the piano, my fingers flying across the white keys, the euphoria of creating harmonies. Around the bedroom walls, on cupboards and shelves, lie photographs by the dozens, exploding with memories relived in my brain. I am from reminiscence, changing like the leaves of autumn, ending as a blossom in the sun.
The moisture drips slowly down the leather jacket that sags in the coat hook. Each droplet a tiny reminder of things unspoken and unfeathered. A man sits at the table in the kitchen, his pale hands wrapped around a hot mug. He shivers and stares into the depths of the cup, his eyes now dry and red. A woman, his wife, slumps next to him, her head laid heavily against his shoulder. Her chest expands and collapses in a heaving rhythm. Her tears form a puddle on the table. They rise together, their hands clasped like a lap to the latch, and make their way up the stairs.
Awesome.